Okay, my friends. Hello again. This is Maria, and we are home together again. And Wave, hi Kelly, who's photographer. The Sunday paper has joined. I'm so glad, let me say, first of all, that so many of you are enjoying these home togethers, which makes me really happy because I'm home and it makes me feel like we're together. So I'm on my own. Patrick has gone for a walk, so I'm trying to manage this by myself over here. So stick with me, stick with me. I was reading, I'm going to wait for Barb. Oh, there's Barb. I sent you a request. Oh, there she went away again. So Barb has to send me another request to join. And let me figure out how to do this. I don't know where Barb is. There, no, Barb. Okay, I wanted to ask Barb to join us because Barb has had a meditation practice for many, many, many years. She runs the Peaceful Mind Institute along with her incredible daughter, Michelle, who has written for the Sunday paper. And there's, I think that's Peaceful Barb. Peaceful Barb. Add her. Myself correctly. Oh my God. Waiting for Peaceful Barb. If Peaceful Barb pops up here, Peaceful Barb is here.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Peaceful Barb.
Hi, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us here in
Thank
California, joining the East Coast and the West Coast together.
Yes.
A beautiful notion. And Barb, you've been practicing meditation. You've been practicing a peaceful mind and a peaceful life for many, many decades. What is your best piece of advice to all of us who are anything but peaceful at this moment?
I know, and that includes me.
Oh.
These are extraordinary times, as we all know, but I've really been internalizing how remarkable these times are because here I'm a teacher of meditation and mindfulness for decades, as you just said, and I'm literally practicing the same anxiety, the same stress, the same unpredictability, all of the same things that everyone on the planet is feeling right now. We are all feeling the same anxiety. So it's really struck me that as a teacher of all of these tools that I know, I always taught from my own experience of going through turmoil and trial and unpredictability. Now I'm actually living it with everyone on the planet. So I get goosebumps just saying that. It's been an epiphany for me to think we're all walking the same walk, walking in each other's shoes.
How do we take that energy
So,
instead of having this collective anxiety energy, but to actually share a healing energy? That's what I'm working on here in my home. I find myself saying to my children, we're in this together, we're home together. We can dictate the kind of energy that's here in our house. So let's make it calming, let's make it loving, let's make it uniting, let's have a routine. Let's not let this be about anxiety and fear. Let's try to shift the energy.
exactly. So we're all in this together and we're all walking together. So we can't deny, though, that we're all feeling anxious. So my first thing that I do is I acknowledge I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling unpredictability. Because if you remember the famous scientist Jill Bolte Taylor, she said it takes 90 seconds for a feeling to come in through your body and go out of your body, unless you're fueling your feelings with thought. So if we deny that these are anxious, unpredictable times and try to just be happy and joyful, it's not possible. So I'm saying feel your feelings. Okay. I'm feeling anxious, and then limit the amount of time that you take in the negativity, the news, people's attitudes. Really use that time to take in the information that you need, and then go find something that lifts you up.
Okay.
And so speed has been the greatest thing.
Okay, number one, because I like these home togethers to give practical tips to people. So number one, acknowledge the anxiety, acknowledge the feeling, come up, name it if you need to, sit with it for a minute or so, exhale it out, and then go and find something that brings you joy. But you're in a one-room apartment, you're in a house, what do you do?
So I'm by myself. I'm by myself in my little house. And what I've been doing lately is actually going on social media, and I'm finding people that make me laugh. Okay. I think to find the joy, I have to find the laughter because I'm missing laughing with people. So I've been following Jimmy Fallon. He makes me laugh so much. And I never follow Jimmy Fallon or Ellen DeGeneres. Or if I want something inspirational, I go read your Sunday paper. I mean, really, you have to make yourself. It was Viktor Frankl who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, which I think these are similar times where we're all in this together. And he said, you have to make yourself change your mindset. Make yourself change your thinking. Go actively out there, set your timer for 5 minutes that I'm going to take in the news and understand what's expected of me in the outer world. But then go make yourself find something that's going to lift you up, something that makes you happy, something that makes you laugh. And I think it's the willpower that we have to start engaging more than anything else. So that would be a big tip.
Okay.
Engage the willpower.
I'm sitting down trying to get more content. So that's really good. So number one, you're saying acknowledge our feelings.
Name them. Feel them.
Sit with them for a little bit, and then go find something that brings you joy. Your tool is going onto social media, not to read the news, but to go and find accounts that make you laugh. You go maybe and read the Sunday paper to get inspired. Those are two things. So name the feeling, breathe it in, exhale it, search for joy, search for laughter. What else?
I'm streaming exercise classes right now because I don't have a gym in my home. Right. And I'm not outside going to the gym. So I'm streaming classes. I've got a favorite teacher, Louis Scriven, and I'm streaming his bar classes. He's got a mat bar class that's 45 minutes long. And so, because we need to move the body, I think we have to move the body. So I'm doing that. If you've got a bicycle at home, if you've got a treadmill at home, find time in your day to move the body, especially once you're feeling anxious and you've done these things of finding some joy. Now go move your body right along with it, because all those things in a row will make a difference in shifting, as you said, shifting the energy in a place, shifting the energy.
So those are three really practical things that all of us can do, regardless of our religion, regardless of our gender. We can, once again, I'm going to repeat, we can name the feeling. So don't deny your anxiety or your fear.
You can't push it away.
Yeah. Particularly if you've just lost your job, you're unsure of where your income is coming from, which I hear a lot about. If you can't get to aging parents, or you feel like you might endanger them in some way. So you can acknowledge your feelings, sit with them, find something second that brings you joy, brings laughter into your life, move your body. So if you're able to walk, but find a lot of these classes, as Barb just said, that are online. Follow inspirational accounts, read the Sunday paper. And then there's, I think, this kind of overall, I feel this collective kind of energy of people wanting to connect, wanting to feel, wanting to be healers, wanting to do something, wanting to be useful. I was working with the governor's office trying to put out a list of things that people could do, support Meals on Wheels, give blood if you're able to. There's a lot of places that don't have blood. Are there any other things you're hearing about, Barb? Or you could develop completely separately a meditation practice.
Definitely. I think you have to have that practice. And I also think to add to that list that we just created is to remember that you don't have to do this forever. You don't have to do this for a week. You don't have to do this for a month. You only have to do this for 10 minutes. You only have to do it for the day. When I was in treatment, I'm 36 years in recovery from bulimia. And one of the greatest things my therapist said was, Barb, you can do anything for 10 minutes that maybe you thought you couldn't do for a lifetime. And I think sometimes we allow the head to think, oh my gosh, they're telling us I have to be in my house for 2 weeks. And now they're saying 4 weeks. And now they're saying maybe till July or August. And no, you have to keep it in the moment. Like, I can do this just for today. So every morning after my meditation, I always say, just for today, I can do everything that I need to do just for today. And I think that's just the mindset that you're talking about as well.
Yeah, I think, Barb, that's taking a page. I was speaking with my brother Timothy yesterday.
I saw it.
That's taking a page really from AA, which is talking about one day at a time. Yeah. He was talking about 1 hour at a time. You're talking about 10 minutes
or 1 minute
just for today. You know, a lot of people are responding here. I'm looking at these responses, people understanding minute by minute, 10 minutes. That feels entirely possible. Where should people go if they don't have a meditation practice? They want to learn to breathe. Breathing is something that sounds silly, but it's incredibly important to the body's central nervous system.
It is. I think there are so many apps out there, and our site, Peace of Mind, Peaceful Life, has a lot of tools and especially inspirational quotes. We hear that a lot. You've really inspired me just by the one quote that you did. Um, very just about the breathing. And I think we try to push through all the stressful moments of the day. We can't push through them. We just need to stop and take a couple deep breaths and really just change the reel. We're changing the reel of the mind that I'm stressed, I'm anxious. And if we actually stop and take a few deep breaths, we're in another track. So if it seems onerous right now in these times to develop a meditation practice, develop a breathing practice and just allow yourself to stop all day long. I'm feeling stressed, make yourself stop and take a few deep breaths and then start again. And I always say, like, stop and then begin again. Stop, breathe, and begin again. It's really that simple because you're trying to change that track in the mind that's telling you things that aren't true, mostly.
Yeah, what you've talked very openly about being in therapy. I myself have tried to talk openly about being in therapy. What do you think is the best piece of advice you've gotten that you're using today from therapists that you've been lucky enough to get to go and work with?
Well, definitely this you can do anything right this moment. Stop allowing your mind to go to the future thinking, oh my God, this is going to be lasting forever. I can't do this. Definitely that. Just learning how to pause and take a deep breath and then begin again. And I guess the other thing that I think really was profound for me was I was a people pleaser. I really wanted to please people. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be happy all the time, all those things. And I remember she said to me, Barb, do you like everyone? And I said, no. And she said, then why in the world would you think everyone would like you? I'll never forget that. I was 28 years old. And I thought, she said, so just like yourself and be your authentic self. And the people that will like you, and the people that you will like, and then you bless everyone else well from afar. And it was the best thing that I ever heard.
That's great. You just mentioned earlier at the top that you're alone, at your home alone. And there's so many millions and millions of people who are alone, who might be single, who might live alone. And I live alone. My son has been here living with me. But what do you do living alone? And so many people live alone, not just at this time, but in general live alone. What have you learned from living alone? What kind of empathy do you have for others who are living alone?
That's a beautiful question because I'm actually an introvert at heart. I actually wanted to be a nun when I was a little girl. So being alone is not so bad for me. It's the being lonely sometimes when I'm craving, some interaction. And what I think what I've learned the most is it's taught me even a deeper appreciation and love for myself and how much I can use my mind to be more creative. Instead of dwelling in the negative, which I talk about a lot, being alone and having the space to be able to be and choose whenever I want to choose or wherever I want to be with people. Because I have a fabulous daughter, as you said, but we decided that she wants to be in her space. I'm going to be in my space. And it's really been wonderful to see all of the things that I've wanted to do for my work, for myself, streaming these exercise classes every day, just doing all those things. I thought I've really been taking better care of myself than I thought that I was. And I thought I was taking good care of myself to begin with. So I think
just want to ask you here, Tanya just messaged and said, I get lonely. She's alone and I get lonely. I think a lot of people are experiencing, maybe for the first time, although we do have a loneliness epidemic. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday, I touch my face a lot. You're right. I'm going to try not to touch my face. But do you get lonely, and what have you found that helps there?
Definitely I get lonely. And I think that's why I'm trying to think back and being in recovery for all these 36 years. What did I do, when we didn't have social media, when I couldn't go to the Sunday paper, when I couldn't do the things that we have so much available at our fingertips. Mm-hmm. And so when I start to feel lonely, I ask myself, what's happening right now for you, Barb? What are you feeling? And are you missing, you need to pick up the phone and call a friend? What do you need to do right now in this moment to alleviate this loneliness? And a lot of times I need to pick up the phone and just connect with a friend, just see how they're doing. We don't ask ourselves, what do we need? I feel like we try to push through it. I don't need to feel lonely. Wait, what's the matter with you right here? Go do this, go turn on the TV, go read a book, go for a walk. Where I always ask myself, what do you need right now in this moment? Sometimes I just need a bath. You know, it's kind of like this changing the real in the room, or changing where the atmosphere or the environment that I'm in. But often it's, let me pick up the phone and call someone. Let me call my friend that I haven't spoken to in a really long time. I have a dear friend in the hospital and I hadn't spoken to her in a while. And just the connection, feeling like I need, and this is for today's world as well. We have people struggling today. If you know someone who's struggling, reach out, call them, text them, email them. And so I think, don't be afraid yourself to reach out. Hey, I need you. I said to Michelle the other day, I was feeling really out of sorts. And I called her up and she said, what's the matter with you? And I said, I don't know, but I need something. So I called you. And she said, well, what do you need? And I said, I just think that I needed to hear your voice and just needed to hear you. And I think being vulnerable, and she just looked at me. I could tell, we weren't on face to face, but I could tell she said, Mom, I never really heard you say it that way before. Are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. I just felt like I needed something and I wanted to call you. So I think
I
just
love that.
honoring who you are and where you are in the moment. We deny ourselves so much. Allowing yourself to go with whatever's happening for you. I think that's my greatest loneliness tip. Don't deny it and just do whatever you feel you need to do in the moment.
So is the Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Institute, is it doing anything particular at this moment in time? Is there any meditation classes it's putting up?
We are in the process of doing a whole anxiety workshop.
Oh,
that I'm
wow.
really excited about. Yeah, we're going to be putting that up live soon, and doing some meditations, some live meditations, and doing more of these Instagram lives. Michelle and I will be doing some things together on Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, Instagram Live and Facebook Live. So yeah, we're trying to get more out in the live mode because I think the loneliness, it matters if we can see your face.
Yeah,
Watching
totally.
you yesterday. It was so cool to watch you with your brother yesterday. Like to see you and your brother together. It fills our heart with joy, and it made me smile.
I love the Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, because I think people are always wondering, how do they get a peaceful life? And they think, oh, a peaceful life comes from making a lot of money. It comes from being very successful. It comes from being out there and doing. And really, you're advocating, and I think it's so true, and I learned this the hard way, that a peaceful life comes from you being peaceful inside and you having practices that bring you peace. It doesn't come from out there. It comes from in here.
Yeah. And taking your power. I mean, connecting to the inner, I always say peace equals power. It's not a passive, okay, you can do this to me, whatever it is you want to do. Peace is powerful. I'm taking care of myself. I'm loving myself so completely that now I'm able to go out and do the things that I want to do in the world. I know what I need in this moment, so I stop and pause and go take it. Peace is really power. So peaceful mind, peaceful life means understanding the thoughts in the mind, understanding that most of them are negative and not true. And then where can I use my power to shift the thinking into the thoughts of positivity and truthful, helpful thoughts? And so that's why we came up with peaceful mind, peaceful life. Everything happens in the mind to begin with. It's the mind that takes us down the track of insanity. I know mine does. And so when I use my power, I talk about willpower a lot. Use your power to just shift the thought, shift it into something else. Make yourself leave the room and go somewhere else.
I love a lot of people are thanking me for introducing them to you, but I want to tell people that I found Barb by doing kind of what she just advocated. I looked for sites that brought inspiration to me. I didn't know Barb. I found her site, Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. And then I looked into who was running it. And then I found her. And then we started connecting. I went and spoke for her. And so we have developed a friendship because I was looking at that time in my life. And I'm always looking for something to inspire me. So never doubt that you have a voice, that you can put up something that inspires somebody. And that's how our friendship was born. And I'm so glad people are enjoying finding out about her. Many obviously who are here love Barb. So glad to meet her. So glad to find out about her. Oh, it's an amazing site. So her site is, incredibly the site she and her daughter run. But I think they did it and you correct me, you did it kind of once to help yourself and just to help one other person, and then it just exploded. Both
Exactly.
of you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I love the fact that you use the word looking, Maria, because you know
Yeah.
what? The greatest quote that has helped me, especially in these difficult times, is Mr. Rogers. You know, look for the helpers. There
Yeah.
are always people helping. And that's what you're saying. Look for the helpers online. Make yourself go look for the helpers. I was going down a rabbit hole with the news the other day, and Michelle called me, and I was telling her all the things. Michelle, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? She goes, Mom, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting educated. And she said, okay, I think it's time for you to go look for the helpers, because I've been using that a lot. And go
Yeah.
look for the helpers, because Sunday Paper is the helpers. Peace of Mind, Peaceful Life, the helpers. Jimmy Fallon and his unbelievable humor and beauty is the helper. And so who are the helpers that you can identify for yourself? This is a big tip, actually, now that I'm saying it. Who are the helpers that are your go-to? So when you notice your mind going down this path, when you notice you're lonely, when you notice, hey, I'm lonely right now. What do I need? I need to laugh. So I was lonely the other day in bed going to sleep. Thought, what do you need? I really want to laugh. So I went online, watched Jimmy Fallon, and then I went and saw every single meme. Like, I love the good news movement. And I know you post them a lot in
Yes.
your Instagram
Yes.
story.
Yes.
And I was sending every other thing that I found, I was sending them to Michelle. And she goes, Mom, what are you doing? I said, I'm sending you all these. I'm laughing so hard. So I have my own toolkit of who my helpers are that I know can bring laughter and joy. It doesn't erase the horrible thing that we're going through right now. So we're not trying to change the outside world. We can't. But what we can change is how we perceive it and what we do with it. And that's what I want people to really get, that out there is unpredictable and crazy like we've never ever seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But in here, you have all the power to be able to change your reflection of it, your participation in it, and how you perceive what's happening, and not allowing it to pull you down and to bring you under. Because we've been through rough times before. These are pretty rough, and we're going to make it.
Absolutely.
Like your brother said, I love what he said, that this is a time that's going to show us what we've really needed, basically. I mean, I think this is going to unearth all the goodness and all the stuff that we need in our world. So
I love that. I have a quote sitting, I have a lot of quotes, but one of the quotes I have is from Rumi, and it says, what you are looking for is looking for you. And it's another version on the helpers, but to understand that whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. So inspiration is looking for you. Help is looking for you. Joy is looking for you. Love is looking for you. So when you sit there and think, I'm looking for love, love's looking for you. I'm looking for inspiration. It's looking for you. I'm looking for a helper. A helper is looking for you. And I think that's a really great thing, because it reminds us of how much in community we actually are. And we're seeing social media at its best in many ways. We've seen a lot of it being, mean and judgmental. And I'm finding it being really loving and people reaching out and connecting in a beautiful way. Is that what you're experiencing?
100%, Maria, 100%. We are, I think, of any time in history, for my lifetime, I feel so connected. I feel as lonely or as alone as we might all be in our homes. We are now we're being forced to go inward and feel the deep connection within. And I think that's what's happening. We always hear these beautiful, Rumi's one of my favorites as well, that we are deeply connected within. We're all one root system and all of that. We read all of that, but to actually experience it and feel it, which I am in this moment, and I think so many millions of people are, we get that sense. And so the antidote to fear is love. So if we can connect more and more to that love that we're all feeling, because we are in the same boat, like it or not, and that's so cool. We are worldwide in this boat together. And I think that if you can find some place to be silent, you were just saying that, that if you're looking for a helper is looking for you. The voice within is looking for you. That voice of power and peace and strength, and we're all in this together, and you can make it, and this is going to be all right, is looking for you to stay positive, healthy, strong, full of all the love and compassion that you're already feeling, and just make yourself go there when your mind starts going down a track that's unhealthy.
So, I talked, one of the first home togethers, I talked about Pema Chodron, and that I picked up her book and read it again. And to me, who I spoke with yesterday, wrote a great book called Fully Alive. Barb wrote a book called The Practice. And Barb, maybe just before we end, kind of what did you want the practice to teach people? They can get it online at Amazon, I guess, right? Or Kindle,
or
wherever they can. But what is the practice exactly, and how can people implement the practice starting right now?
It's very simple. It's a very simple book. It's a 3-part daily guide: how you begin the day and how you end the day, and then what you do during the day. So you begin the day with some kind of a sitting quiet practice, a meditation. Meditation is sitting, just sitting quiet with yourself, even if it's just for a minute or two, just to connect with that power and that strength. And what am I feeling? What's happening for me? Just quiet to begin the day. And then all throughout the day, using affirmations, using your one-pointed attention to be able to be in the moment when you notice your mind going down the rabbit hole that we've been talking about and all of this stress and anxiety, using an affirmation: this too shall pass. This isn't going to last forever. Using affirmations to bring your mind back to the present moment, and then go find those sites that are the helpers or that are bringing you joy and laughter. And then closing out your day with a reflection time where I look at my day, kind of like watching a movie. What went well, what didn't go so well, because we can't change what happened, but we can really set ourselves up for going to bed with a good night's sleep. So I look at my day, reflect back, what went well, and then I say, okay, this day is over. I'm leaving all of this day in this day, and I head into a good night's sleep with this day, and tomorrow's going to be a new day. And as we know, I call it the practice, because as we know, the more we practice, it becomes a habit. It becomes how we see our lives.
So
I
think that's
little guide is how you can see your life.
I love that. Barb's book is called The Practice. It's an important thing to remember. You can have a practice in the morning and at night, and the practice serves you, and yet it also puts you in a place of great service to others, because the calmer you are, the more peaceful you are, the more a light you are, the more light you will bring to other people's lives. And really, at the end of the day, we're here for that. Think about all these doctors and nurses bringing hope and light and salvation to people. And I really believe that each of us are here to bring salvation to another person. And that's why we're here. I think people always wonder, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? People always come up to me like, what's my purpose? Your purpose right now, today, is to be still, put a practice in effect, help one other person. Maybe that's the greatest purpose of all of this right now. Help one other person and be a light. Be a light in someone's darkness, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite teachers is Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk. I went on a retreat with him. I love him. On a retreat.
I've gone to see him speak. I've done quiet meditation, walking meditation with him.
Yes.
You can get any of his books. He's written about 60 books, my friend, Thich Nhat Hanh.
Well, he told us at the end of a retreat, go out and relieve the suffering of one other human being every single day. And I believe, as I've practiced that for decades, I have to relieve my own suffering and love myself completely. And relieving the suffering of another person could be just going out and smiling at the neighbor walking her dog. I did that yesterday. I walked outside and there was the neighbor walking her dog. And she said, are you staying in? And I said, I am. And she said, well, I'm out walking my dog. And I said, I haven't seen your dog before. He's so cute. Just that smile. I walked in the house and I felt better. It's like, I can do this. I can do this.
A friend of mine, Eric Buderbaugh, is on here. And yesterday, he sent me flowers, and he runs a flower shop. He was talking and runs really a family kind of flower shop, and was unsure about how long they were going to still be able to send flowers, how long they were going to, still have flowers, how long he could still employ everybody that works with him. And, but he said, here's some flowers just because I love you. It changed, kind of my day. And so I think, everybody, all of these small business owners, I have so many friends who have small hairdressing places, manicure places, home stores. And they're, my friend Elizabeth, who has a store here, said that her people came, I think I mentioned this yesterday, and said, we'll split our paychecks in half, just so we can help each other. Yeah. So I think there's so much to take away from you, Barb. I hope we'll continue to connect together since we're
Love
home
to.
together.
Love to. We're
And
home alone, right? Home alone. I think also, I love what you just said. I told my manicurist the other day, I said, look, and if you can do this, not everyone can do this, but if you can do this, I said, I'm going to pay you like ahead 6 months worth of manicures today. And then when we're back in business and I can get my manicure, then you can just, and she was so grateful. So be creative in how you think that you're able to help other people. There are ways that you can help financially, emotionally, any kind of support. Just be creative, because I think people say, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this. There's a lot that we can do. And the times now are making us really dig deep, I think.
Yeah, the guy that does my hair, people often ask me who does my hair, and this guy named Vito Esposito here in Los Angeles, and he had to close his salon, Beverly Hills, made everybody close their salon unless they had an essential business. And that's his entire livelihood. The people he employs, that's what he does. And so that's a really good idea. For those of us who can, pay forward. Just pay him some money, and we'll always have our hair. So
Exactly.
But I see a lot of people are saying, that's me too. I have that business. And I really think we're saying we're home together, but we're kind of fundamentally in this all together. And those of us who can should be paying it forward to people who are there for us. So those of us who can, as I've said, also Meals on Wheels supports a lot of seniors who can't get out, people. Like getting together. I want to hear from people who they think they'd like to hear from. Barb and I will stay connected, and we'll stay home together. And remember, Barb's book is called The Practice. Timmy's book yesterday was called Fully Alive. The other book I talked about was Pema Chodron's book called When Things Fall Apart. I was reading this morning a little pamphlet called Solitude of Self. It's an old classic, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. It's an oldie, but goodie. Go back into, if you have books, go back and reread them. You're not the same person as you were. You'll find something else. What other book do you want to advise us that might be worth reading?
Oh, I just lost you, Maria. One of my favorites is When Things Fall Apart. I read that when I went through my divorce quite a few years ago. And I think
Me too.
to be reading right now, I think with all the things falling apart, I think Pema Chodron is a genius. The book I'm reading right now is Man's Search for Meaning. I've read Viktor Frankl's book 100 times. It speaks to me deeply about how we can overcome anything. If he could do what he did in that concentration camp and be able to dig deep into, he talks so much about digging deep into, we can't think about the outside world and what's happening to us. We need to have that strength from within us. So Man's Search for Meaning has been a real companion for me for decades.
Yeah, and I just want to also mention my daughter, Catherine.
Yes.
She has a new book called The Gift of Forgiveness, which is so inspiring and might get you thinking about somebody you might want to write a forgiveness letter to, ask forgiveness for, grant it, think about that subject. So her book is really great. Maybe I
want to say her book prompted me to start a letter to my sister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So tell her that I ordered her book when it came out. I saw it on your site. Yeah, especially in these times, we've had some difficult times and we haven't spoken for a while. And just beginning to read her book and going through this whole time, I've started writing a letter to her. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's important in this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Barb, so much. Give my love to your daughter, Michelle.
Thank you, Maria. She sends her love back to you. I love you and love all of you.
You too.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you.